Hello everyone, I hope you had a good week. Welcome on in to our weekend update. Today I want to talk about how you can make your YouTube commenting experience better. Well, and also other people's commenting experience better. If you're one of those people that sees YouTube commenting community as a den of all evil and all nastiness and all that, then this video is for you. If you're not, well, you can still hang around and enjoy the ride, because I have a few things that I want to talk about the YouTube commenting system and how I think without any changes from YouTube's side, and especially without any changes from all the terrible people that post terrible stuff on YouTube, you can make it a better experience for yourself. I know this sounds weird. It's fine. Just bear with me for a little bit. And I just want to touch on, before I say anything, I just want to say, as I say many times, that my comment section is amazing. You guys are all amazing. I have nothing against you. It's all perfect. It's amazing. You guys are amazing. But that's because you like RPGs, and as you know, everybody that likes RPGs is a fantastic person, no matter what. So that's why there's really nothing to say about my comment sections. But of course, YouTube is a big place, and there are videos that you watch that are not on my channel. Hopefully, unless you just watch my stuff, in which case, go and watch more stuff. There's more stuff out there as well. But that's a story for another day. Now, what do I want to touch on regarding the comment system? I have 4 things that I want to touch on, and I want to bring to your attention. I know I'm not saying anything new. I'm sure some of you might already have thought of this or said this, what I'm gonna say, but let's start with, I think, a fundamental aspect of discussion, and specifically online discussion. YouTube is a problem for this. It has this as a problem, I mean, but pretty much everywhere has this problem, and it is the notion that opinions are not censorship. Now, I didn't grow up in a country with censorship. My parents did, because here in Portugal we had an authoritarian regime up until 1974. And there was censorship. You couldn't say things. You couldn't go against the church. You couldn't go against the government. Well, you couldn't say anything bad about the war. You were sent to prison because of that. As such, I do get a certain perspective, even though having not grown in that time, I do get a certain perspective that some of the people might not get in regards to what censorship is. But it's very easy when you see somebody. I have a few examples today. It's very easy to see some comments as going directly against your freedoms. Your freedom to have a game that you like, your freedom to like the game, or to have the video, or to like the video movie, or read a book, or your freedom of speech itself. It's very easy to understand the opinions of other people as going against your freedom. And that's not really the case. And let me explain. Let me go through a few examples. You need to wake up and realize you're focusing on the wrong issue. Nobody cares about the economic growth of the country. This is a made-up comment that I just made up. I got others that are not as made up. But it's basically somebody discarding the relevance of what you're discussing. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that they don't really think it's important. It doesn't mean that the next person that's going to read your comment doesn't think is it important. They might think it's very important, and your comments, your objectives, your opinions about that might still be as valid. It doesn't matter. It's easy to understand, I suppose. Maybe this one. You're clearly not a true fan, so shut the fuck up. I put 5 years into one character and continue doing replays even today. This is on a video about a particular game, arguing that the game is not good. That shut the fuck up is quite clear. It sounds like censorship, doesn't it? But censorship requires one fundamental thing: power. And there's no power on the internet. So this is a more drastic example of that, but it doesn't actually go against you. Would you, if you have this comment aimed at you, would you really feel the need to just say, no, I can say whatever I like? Yeah, so can this guy. And he doesn't really have any power over you. You don't need to reassert your your right to say whatever you feel like. You understand what I mean? Another example. I think some people should not be allowed to speak on the internet. This is a fairly common example. It's a made-up comment. I don't transcribe it from anywhere. But this, for example, it is even more drastic. It still doesn't mean anything. And they should ban hot weather. Doesn't mean anything. It's just people without power. So it's not censorship, it's just opinions. Another thing though, this is actually related to this, which is when a lot of people with the same opinion, and this happens on YouTube a lot, especially because of the reply things and all that, when a lot of people with the same opinions get together, it creates what is called or commonly referred to as an echo chamber, where basically just people get, well, circle jerk is also a pretty appropriate name for that, but you know, when basically the same opinions get thrown around over and over again, and people just agree with each other, and there is a need, I feel, in me, at least, when that echo chamber doesn't really reflect what I believe, there is a kind of a inner need for me to just go and to break it. It's the combo breaker, effectively, and just say something. And that's, I think that need needs to be respected. That intent needs to be respected, because a lot of people feel that, and I don't feel that it's right to ignore it. Just, you know, I'm not going to say anything, because that actually leads to another problem that I'm going to talk about at the end of this little thing, but I think it's important to actually break that echo chamber and just, you know, breed discussion. It's important, but there are two ways of doing that. So I have two examples here. This video convinced me to play Fallout 1, and then people were saying, oh yeah, it's a great game and all that, and there was an echo chamber in there, and then there was somebody that came around and said, this video convinced me to go outside. So that is effectively a breakage of that echo chamber, but without any actual meat. You're not actually saying anything, you're just trying to bother other people. This is what's called trolling. And trolling is an age-old thing. It doesn't just pertain to the internet, although the name, of course, I believe came from the internet. It might have not, actually. But it's something that I've known since I started going around the internet many years ago, and I think it's also gonna be something that I'm gonna touch on in a little bit, but it's something that's fundamentally misunderstood, what it actually is and how to deal with it, and you know, the whole don't feed the troll thing. If you want to break an echo chamber, you really should give arguments. Here's another example. I don't see why people are excited for the new Zelda game. Looking at gameplay, there really doesn't seem like there's much to do other than exploring, cooking, fighting, and doing the temples. Is it just because it's a Zelda game? Somebody asks. And then a lot of people, you know, built out an echo chamber. That's why I used this as an example. And people saying, yeah, Zelda, it's gonna be whatever. And then somebody said, there were other trolls in there as well, but somebody said, yep, no, actually, this is a troll example. I will never understand why people still lose their shit for Zelda. There have been far better games in the genre. So that's the echo chamber. Then somebody said, please don't spout your opinion as fact. Thanks, the internet. This is the trolling situation that I was talking about before. It's not actually an argument. If you're in need of saying this, don't do that, because you're not actually giving an argument. Do this. In my opinion, I still loved Wind Waker HD, I think. A great story and animation. But other than that, Zelda is kind of bland, but it has its own niche, if you will, or well, I believe it's will. So it's an argument. It's something that goes directly against, even though it's, you know, sympathetic towards the original comment, it goes directly against what was said. He didn't understand why Zelda, what people kept talking about Zelda. Somebody made an argument. Makes sense. You break the echo chamber, but you put an argument forth. And actually the discussion after this kind of went on a little bit. So I think if you want to break those echo chambers, don't just troll, because there's a very, I think that's a very impulsive reaction to seeing just people saying, oh, I don't know, anything that really just fundamentally changes from different sides of the fence, as it were, like feminism or weather or politics or religion, and just go in there, just like and break stuff up. I think that's a need. There's a need in us to do that, but do that with an argument, because other people that agree with you will see you and will understand what you mean, and will see, oh, this guy has got an interesting idea, and maybe the other side is gonna just make themselves look foolish by replying wrong to your arguments, or they're gonna understand what your arguments are and maybe bring forth other arguments, and that's how discussion is made. But the fundamental change in here is you as the commenter, because you're, instead of having the impulse of just, this is a band of scum, I'm gonna just go in there and smash stuff up, you're actually gonna think about what they're actually saying and make an argument. Even if you don't post anything, make an argument for yourself. And I feel that is gonna make, well, for me, it has made the experience of internet comments lot more bearable. Now, going back to what I was saying before about trolling. Trolling, I think some people don't really understand what that is, but more important than understanding what trolling is, it's understanding the saying, don't feed the troll. And not feeding the troll is it's not actually not replying to a troll. You can reply to a troll, but feeding a troll, I believe, is taking him seriously. Like somebody says, this is actually an actual example that happened with me. Is everything racist to you? And this wasn't. There's two types of trolls. There's the trolls that are on purpose and that are just being mean, as it were, or just, saying stupid things on purpose. Or there are people that are saying the things that they actually believe, and they can be perceived as trolls. In this case, this is a clear strawman argument. If you don't know what a strawman argument is, there's a link for you up there. I don't know if YouTube allows me to link to Wikipedia, otherwise check down below. A strawman argument is pretty simple. It's basically when you deconstruct somebody's argument to a point where it's easy to attack it. By picking on the weakest part of that argument and not the argument as a whole. And in this case, well, it's actually just it's not even an argument, because the person that was the video here was not saying that everything is racist. The guy was just saying that. So I replied with this. I replied with trolling, and I believe I wasn't feeding the troll. I was trolling the troll, which is a different thing. To arms, I said, everyone. Let's defend the racists. I realized I came on a little bit rough. I was trolling, but there are many ways to reply to this. And what I was doing here, I was testing the person that I was actually talking to, because they could be either the trolls that are doing it on purpose and the other one that is not. And he replied, I find, in a way that told me that that he really wasn't trying to be trollish. He said, better than hearing the word racist every single episode. And then I replied with something that I actually find that was a little bit good, because of sarcasm that I'm going to touch on a little bit. It's a good answer. I said, I'm sorry if I came off a bit abrasive. Personally, it doesn't bother me, because I don't hear it very often. And there's a jab in there. But basically, I don't feel that I was feeding the troll. Feeding the troll would be to actually engage on the argument, I feel. And if you feel that somebody else is trolling, think of it as if they're doing it on purpose. Because that will make your sanity better, and it will make the discussion better, I believe. If somebody's saying, oh, what's a game that nobody likes? Colonial Marines is the best game ever. It's quite clearly somebody that is trolling. Maybe, probably not. Well, I mean, probably yes, but maybe not. If you just take it as somebody making a fun, then it's easier for you to understand that, right? And if they really believe that, you can take it as, oh, that guy's an idiot, let's not engage, or let's make fun of him, which is basically what I did. Although I really wasn't trying to be too offensive, to be honest, but I was trying to be witty. But somebody that reads that and sees you making fun, they're gonna enjoy the fun if they agree with you. And if they don't agree with you, they are going to see you as a troll, in which case they can do fun of you as well. And it's better for everybody if nobody takes it actually seriously, I feel. But there's actually a fundamental aspect here that I could have started the conversation with, which is sarcasm. It's very, very hard to see sarcasm on the internet, to understand sarcasm. And I believe that's more important to try to be a little bit more lenient when somebody is sarcastic. Even with the comment that I said before, they should ban hot weather. That could be serious. I believe there are people that really believe this. I mean, many of us have seen stupid things to this degree on the internet. I believe some people really believe this, that they, as it were, should ban hot weather, the thing that I mentioned before. But this most likely is sarcasm, and this is actually an example that I personally use on my private life. I say that a lot, actually, just to take a jab at what I can say. Like I should say, oh, they should ban traffic. So I don't like traffic. Ban it. It's just, because it means nothing. I am not saying anything that is gonna change the world. I'm just saying a thing that's not even my opinion, because of course they can't ban traffic or hot weather, or even, actually they can ban traffic. It's just of course, they won't. It's a good thing they do. They don't, but, well, at least not right now. We'll see how things go. But sarcasm is something that infects you, even if you don't do sarcasm. And the reason for that is because you can't be sarcastic if you want to come off as a decent person. So I have a comment here for somebody that actually deleted, it's on one of my videos, that actually deleted the comment for some reason. And I believe it's because I didn't reply, and I'm not gonna name names, there's no need for that. But it's a totally okay comment, but it can come off as really abrasive. And I believe that might be the reason why they have deleted the comment. But I understand it as sarcastic. And it's fun. I actually laughed out loud when I read this comment. And it's in a game that I had a named character with the name of this person. And it goes like this. Okay, Colonel, what the hell? I may be a month late, because he was watching this, the video has been up for a while. A month late to the party, but that doesn't mean I volunteer for the chopping block by default. And I laughed out with this, laughed out loud, but he deleted, or they deleted the comment. And I don't really understand why, but that's fine. It's okay. I laughed out loud. That was okay. That was a good comment. But it's sarcastic. It's fun. It's a fun comment. I mean, you can understand somebody saying this seriously, but it makes no sense. And why would I even take it seriously? Even if it was serious, I will take it as fun. And if the other person, oh, I was actually being serious, then I will apologize. Because again, apologies they're so hard to make. That's one thing, I think I said this in another video many months ago, probably a year ago or something. Apologies are so hard to make, because they are. The I'm sorry is a hard word to say. For some people more than others. But there's some situation that is free. It's cheap to say that. And on the internet, you can say that. You can come off better by just saying, I'm sorry. Even if you're not actually sorry, doesn't matter. You said it. That's what matters, actually. You're just saying. If you're not, well, don't do it again. But you know what I mean? So it's a conversation. And if you take things more lightly and more, think of them as sarcasm, don't feed the trolls, and engage with the trolls in trolling if you want. Make the internet a fun place. Even if people say the worst thing ever, just let them say the worst thing ever. There's a quote at the end that that actually has something to do with this, but nobody has power on the internet. Not over you, not over anybody. If they believe that the earth is square, let them believe that. Or if there's an echo chamber, or if there's not, if there's just somebody, engage with them with arguments. Don't call them idiots. Or do. It doesn't matter. You have no power if you call them idiots. They're not going to change their opinion. They're probably going to get even more ingrained in their opinion. But, you know, engage, be helpful, be friendly, and just take it as sarcasm. And I think that, just to conclude, and thank you for listening until the end of this little segment, just to conclude, I think that makes your internet experience better. If you're just reading, or if you're actually commenting, just take it lightheartedly. People will say terrible things. They will say they should ban the weather. But it doesn't matter. They have no power. And you know that that's a person that said that. The next time you see that person saying other things, take that into context. Maybe they may not know what they're talking about. Or maybe they're gonna be a very sarcastic person. Just think of it like that. And I think, for me, it has worked. It has made YouTube comments extremely better, and it kind of hurts me a little bit when YouTubers say, oh, the YouTube comments are the worst, people are the worst, and I will just ban, or I don't know, it irks me, because it doesn't matter. You know, I'm lucky. I can't really say much, but that's just my opinion anyway. I'm lucky because you guys are awesome. So thank you very much for watching. I still have a few sections coming up, so stay tuned, and I will see you in 6 seconds, I believe. Yeah. Actually, this week, and I'm sorry, there's no new games, no new RPGs. I say games. No new RPGs out this week, I'm sorry. What am I watching this week? Well, a lot of stuff, actually. I've been watching a few other things, but there's one video that really made my week. It's fantastic, it's brilliant, and it's by Retrospective Gaming. I've mentioned his channel before here on this weekend update. And by the way, he still has his fundraiser for children in hospitals. Get the link for you up there. Go ahead and donate. He's almost there. Well, last time I checked anyway. I hope he surpassed his goal. But yeah, go ahead and donate. He's got a video about Harold. He's one of his favorite characters in Fallout. He's got other videos like this. He's got one video about the Master as well, which I very, very much enjoyed as well. But this one about Harold is pretty cool because it tells the story of Harold, how he went from being a normal human to being a tree in Fallout 3, and he tells the whole story. The guy that runs the channel of Retrospective Gaming, is a fantastic guy, so you really should check it out and subscribe as well, because he puts out videos, not as many as I do, but they're scripted videos, and they're videos with thought behind them, which mine are sometimes not, most of the times. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and check it out as well. Got a link for you up there if you want to go there. You can go there right now. The video will still be here, and when you come back, and it's fine. So yeah, that's what I've been watching this week. And this week, as in all others, I want to thank you very much for supporting me by watching, by commenting, by liking, by subscribing, but especially to those of you that support me on Patreon. You guys are really helping me out, just getting a little bit closer. Every little bit helps. And actually this week I have had 2 new subscribers, 2 new patrons, not subscribers, 2 new patrons on my Patreon page. You can check it out up there. There's a link for you up there if you want to check it out. I got some incentives. If you want to support me, even $1 a month, just a single $1 a month will get you early access to my pre-recorded videos that I have. I currently have Battle Brothers, a bunch of Battle Brothers episodes that I've recorded already that still have not gone up on the channel because, you know, I don't want to flood things and all that, and I want to have a few stuff pre-recorded. I will have there some Legend of Grimrock, some Expeditions of Viking. I mean, as they pass, the ones that are there kind of get uploaded to YouTube already, so I need to keep uploading. So basically I'm uploading to 2 places, but that's fine. So yeah, check it out. There's a page there. And for those of you, I of course name you all out, and thank you very, very much for supporting me on Patreon. My 2 new patrons, patrons or patrons, I need to, yep, it's my 2 new patrons on Patreon. Let's see, I want to say that like that. Are Christopher Chilton, thank you very much for your support. You're amazing. Thank you very much for your generosity. And as well, Andre Forel, I think I'm pronouncing your name more or less correctly. Thank you very much for your generosity and for supporting me. I hope you guys will enjoy your status, so I get the sergeant, I got captain, I got lieutenant, like the sort of the tiers for the rewards, and yeah, you're gonna start being a part of the RPG army next month. At the beginning of each month is when your credit cards are actually charged. So yeah, and of course everybody that has been with me as well for a little while already, thank you very much. That is Benji, Namik Noor, Rob Anybody, Robert Daffern, Casper KJ Jorgensen, Jordan Kozart, Paul Bible, Joshua A. Ennis, Michael Grayson, Grigory Krasikov, yes, I said your name correctly right at the start, nice, and of course, the Matt Larkin. Thank you very much for your support, guys. You're amazing, you're very, very generous, and I wish I could thank you more than I already thank. It's one day when I do YouTube full-time, I'll have like proper outros and all that with all of your names going by and all that proper stuff. But right now, the time is limited, and yes, I have a full-time job. So I wish that one day maybe I won't need to have a full-time job outside of YouTube, I mean, and then my full-time job is going to be YouTube, and I'm going to be able to do many things, hopefully. But for right now, things are as they are, and you guys are helping me get towards that goal. Thank you very much, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying. And this week's quote is what I said before. It's about freedom of speech and goes directly towards what I was saying at the beginning about how people will say the most terrible things, but it doesn't really matter. Well, the quote is not like that. It's not about that. It's about the freedom of speech for them to say that and us needing to accept that. It's by a man called Alan Dershowitz. And I haven't actually followed him, his career or anything. I do know that he's a lawyer, and I do know that he has done some successful cases in defense of some stuff. if you don't know him, you can check him up. But he's got a quote that goes like this: freedom of speech means freedom for those who you despise, and freedom to express the most despicable views. It also means that the government cannot pick and choose which expressions to authorize and which to prevent. And this is fundamental. Freedom of speech is not, I said this before as well, is not for those that agree with you. It's for those that don't. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope to generate a good discussion down below. If you want to talk about this week's episode, you're always free to. As I always say, that's the second best part of doing YouTube, is reading your comments and replying to your comments. That's why I always do that. Of course, the best part is actually playing the games. No offense, but I love playing RPGs. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.